And welcome to Healthcare Sucks, where you, yes, you, and the two of you get the news first. That's right. And with no hanky panky. So, real quickly, I'm going to do some short ones coming up, or medium ones. I've got a source I trust, and I've followed some of their stuff for years. I'll tell you about it when we run them. But you're going to be amazed at some numbers and some things coming, guys. What would you say if I told you that if things continue just the way they are right now and keep going along this line and numbers doubling, and this is without us knowing just, what we do know, that in 3 months from now, 3 months from now, the reason I said it twice is I want you to know that 60% of the world could have it. And the reason I'm saying that to you, and I want you to base it just off of one thing we're talking about today, is the church over in North or South Korea. One person went in there, infected. Now it's 500 and some people are supposedly feeling ill. 500 and some people from one person going in. And, excuse me, like 50 of those people are confirmed now. 50. One person, 50, 500. Do the math. Okay? It's crazy. So what I'm going to do is we're going to look at a couple things, and then I'm going to start working on that because I want you to hear what's coming and what we can do. Real quick, there are still some masks on eBay. Dollar store, there's stuff there. They're not the M95s. But you can get some of those pandemic kits still on eBay. And if you want to know the other guy that's got them, hit me up in my email and I'll send you over to him. I'll look it up. With that, first of all, this is like ridiculous. I just got to show you guys something.
Teams dispatched in Daegu.
Is that ridiculous?
The site
That's
of the
ridiculous.
Worst mass outbreak of the coronavirus.
Ridiculous.
The Shin-Song-gi Church of Jesus, where a 61-year-old woman attended services while infected. Health authorities describe it as a super-spreading event.
One more time.
Mobile teams dispatched in Daegu to disinfect the site of the country's worst mass outbreak of the coronavirus. The Shin-Song-gi Church of Jesus, where a 61-year-old woman attended services while infected. Health authorities describe it as a super-spreading event. The mayor has advised people to stay indoors, raising fears that this city of 2.5 million is the next global hotspot for the virus.
With more confirmed cases here in Daegu than in Seoul, I'm worried that Daegu will become the second Wuhan.
The church should have been more careful.
The church has a reputation as a cult in South Korea and issued this apology. We are deeply sorry that one of our members, who thought of her condition as a cold because she had not traveled abroad, led to many in our church being infected and caused concern to the local community. This is Daegu's temporary treatment center for people showing symptoms. More than 80 church members have confirmed infections, and there could be many more.
To show a decline in new confirmed cases. Once again, we are encouraged by this trend, but this is no time.
It's declined. Tamping it down. Just had to show you some tamping. Because, guys, these guys are so full of it, it's ridiculous.
Here. Where's our resources? You know, it's a harder thing to fight an epidemic in a democracy. It's a harder thing to fight when the internet can just scream all kinds of lies, whereas they've been locking people up in China for going on Weibo and telling the truth. And they're still locking people up.
And explain what that truth is.
Well, for example, there's a young doctor who is an ophthalmologist in Wuhan who was one of the first to spot that there was a new kind of pneumonia afoot, and he thought it looked a lot like SARS. He went on social media, on Weibo, he put out his analysis of it, and they immediately arrested him, and he was thrown in prison.
Of those who might have been incubating and therefore had not.
Well, let's also focus on South Korea. It's confirmed its first death from this virus, and there's been a sharp rise in the number of cases. That's connected to the city of Daegu, city of 2.5 million, and this building is the focus. It's been disinfected, and that's because a large number of cases have been traced to the religious group.
It's been disinfected. Do you guys believe that? I haven't checked myself. I hope my mustache is not out of control because I'm eating again. Damn, I'm always eating, huh, when I'm doing these things. You know why? Because I like to watch TV and catch up on things when I'm eating. I've been busting my behind all day, so back to it.
Called the Shincheonji Church of Jesus, which uses this building. Some call it a church, some call it a cult. Either way, a woman who reportedly twice refused to be tested is reportedly now the center of this.
Reportedly refused to be tested. How does that even happen? And this is a case of super spreader, now they're calling it. How many super spreaders do you think are out there, guys? First of all, the kits, the tests only are 50% or less accurate, and many of them don't even test positive until you've already got full-blown symptoms. WHO is tapping it down, giving us a bunch of hooey. They supposedly are getting to go into Wuhan. Come to find out that one of their board members or people on their staff or whatever, one of their higher ups, is guess where from? Yeah, China. You can't make this stuff up. And something about there's some kind of tie going on there. So yeah, and I've already told you they're tied into one world order. Period. And Agenda 21. So a couple more minutes and then we'll cut this off, guys.
Cluster. She'd refused because she said she hadn't been to China recently. But we know there have been numerous cases of human-to-human transmission outside China, and it seems she's now at the center of one of those. Here's Hyung-eun Kim from BBC.
So if you didn't catch that, the super spreader had not even been to China. So this thing's mutated again into person to person constantly. And I'm putting at you with this being a bioweapon, this monster is going to start doing some really mutating. Just wait. See, the thing is people don't get it unless you've kept up on this stuff. These bioweapons are when they get them, they're just killers. Bottom line, you know, and this thing's like a parasite. Gets into you, lives, spreads, whatever. I was talking about venom the other day. This thing's a real venom, okay? And it don't want to let go till you're toast, and then it goes to somebody else. I mean, just watch a couple minutes of this. It's just ridiculous, guys.
Korean in Seoul.
This is a very alarming day for South Korea. We got more than 50 new cases today, and this pushes up the total number of infections in the country to 104. So basically, we got half of the total 104 cases in just one day. And like it's been reported, this has to do with a woman of a religious sect. The religious group is called Shincheonji, and we learned a couple of days ago that she attended religious services where more than 1,000 people were there with her. We know that the government has tracked down 1,000 believers of Xinjiang, and 1,000 people are being kept in what's called self-quarantine. They're staying at home and they're reporting their symptoms to the authorities. But what is alarming is that this number of people are concentrated in one specific area. It's called Daegu. Daegu is Korea's fourth largest city, and people are concerned if this city is medically equipped enough to handle the soaring number of infections.
Well, let's move from South Korea to Japan, because I've got to bring you the latest on the Diamond Princess. You'll know all about it. Here it is. It's a cruise ship that's been quarantined in Yokohama for over 2 weeks. Over half of the cases of this virus outside of China are on board this ship, 634 of them. Among them were 2 elderly Japanese people who've now died. All of which means Japan is being widely criticised for how it's handled this. But Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is pushing back at that. He says we will put all efforts into preventing serious cases among those infected. The government has important responsibility of protecting the health and lives of its citizens. We will fulfill that responsibility. And of course, this is all being widely discussed on social media. Saw this really interesting comment from one user on Yahoo Japan.
Yeah, they kept them in the ship so they would get it. Guys, this is just nuts. And another thing, they're talking about cleaning that ship and going back out to sea in a couple months. If you go on that ship at any time in the future, you're nuts. Period. And anybody you know, I would spread the word. That thing needs to be towed out to the middle of the ocean and sunk. Period. And the other ones that are the same way, sunk. Anything that we find, sunk. Boom. Because this kind of thing, you're not getting rid of it. And with my upcoming videos, I'm gonna let you in on a little preview here. Stuff is 30 days now on items, guys. 30 days, which puts the communicable disease, you know, when you can transfer it to an item and still get it 30 days, guys. This nuts. And what you don't hear too is we've got containers that have been sent over during all this periods and stuff, and it's in there. They found actual traces. They're not saying nothing. I had to track this stuff down. So with that, I'm going to let you go for right now, because I've got a bunch coming up, and some of this stuff is going to be alarming. But believe me, I would not waste your time or tell you this if I didn't think it was very important for you to know. Again, we do it under the Free News Act to spread. We're not making money off this. We also do it, you know, my advice, what I show you and whatever, you should decide what you want to do. As far as kids and stuff, PG-13, or you decide whether your kid can handle knowing about this. In some cases, probably not. And with that, stay safe, because we love you at Healthcare Sucks. Over and out. And Healthcare Sucks! Over and out.